Okay, so this is a video on resizing a box. Now, I've got another video on resizing a box, a heavy-duty box, a double wall box. And so if you're looking to do something like that, to shorten the box, look at that other video. That's going to show you how to do that. This is a different style of resizing. The other one, I basically cut the flaps down, re-flapped it, and then made the flaps shorter on the box than they were. This one here, I'm going to take a box that's long and I'm going to shorten the length of the box. And I'm also going to, you can see this groove right here. This box is made to be two different sizes. It's either made to be 10 inches or 12 inches tall when it sits, level on the ground. So I'm going to cut it down to where it's the shorter of the two lengths. So to do that, and the reason I'm doing that is because UPS, if I ship this box the way it is right here, UPS is going to hit me with an extra $70 in fees to put this box on board in combination with the other box to ship it to the destination, which is on the other coast, on the East Coast. I'm on the West Coast. So to cut down shipping fees, I cut down the volume, the girth size of the box. And the girth is the two longest sides. Take the length, take the next longest side, you double that, and if it adds up to over 130, you're going to get hit with an oversized fee, which is what UPS loves to do. And in this case, that fee is going to end up being about $70 for the weight that's involved here. So to save on weight, I cut down my boxes. And the other box I cut down, not because it was a weight issue or a girth issue, it was because the item inside of it fit the packaging better when it was a shorter box, and it was a lot more stable, and it prevented it from getting damaged during transport. So this isn't for that reason. This is strictly to cut down on size so I don't get hit with the UPS girth, minimum girth size of 130 inches or maximum girth size of 130 inches, which is going to cost me an extra $70 on this shipment alone. So to do that, take one of these boxes here and cut it down lengthwise so we can make sure we're framed here. So that's the first dimension that I'm going to deal with. Well, the first thing I'm going to do actually is I'm going to put the floor together. I'm not going to tape it together just now because I have to still shorten it, so you'll figure out why I don't tape it together at this point. So I just go ahead and throw this guy together here. So the first dimension that I'm going to cut is going to be this. It's just going to take about, I think it's about 3 inches out of the box, overall dimensions. I'm going to be pretty tight on girth size, so I want to get it down as small as I can, but the reason I'm cutting it down in this dimension is because the box will be too tall, and this packaging that goes inside of it, which is this guy, it's all tied together, okay? It is going to be just moving around inside the box, so I want to make that as contained as possible. So since I have it padded pretty well on the end here, I don't know if you can see that, but I have it padded pretty well on both ends. I'm going to jam it in that box so it's not going to be moving around once I've packed the box. And I've got more detailed information on that and how I do that on another video that has both boxes being shortened and put together for shipment. So that's not for this video. You can view that in another video. So now I'm just going to go ahead and cut this down to the next level here. Yeah, that's good. And I have a box cutter inside my unit here, but I don't want to bother with the box cutter. I figure most people are going to be using pocket knives anyway. Okay, so now I can go ahead and fold this box to be the shorter of the two boxes, which for that side is going to be 10 inches deep. Okay, 10 inches. Now, since I'm folding it to be 10 inches deep instead of 12 or 13 inches deep, we're going to have an overlap here. These two flaps are going to overlap. So let me just get this one set up here. So you can see there's an overlap here, okay? Put fold in the sides. Fold those in. Okay, so if you look, there's an overlap, which is not a problem. I'm just going to run a piece of tape across it, and I'm going to run several pieces of tape across it, then I'm going to do it lengthwise as normal. This box is not going to weigh a lot, so it's not super critical on how it's taped together, but I do want to make sure that any seams that overlap are going to be taped so that nothing can get caught during transport, because UPS uses conveyor belts mostly for handling, and that's how most of the packages get damage is in their conveyor belt system. Even though they have monkeys handling freight, most of the damage is done on the conveyor belt system. So I was a shipper for 12 years, so I kind of know how this goes. I've shipped all over the world, so this is, just take what I'm saying to heart, because I've experienced everything that can possibly go wrong with boxes, and that's how I figured out how to package everything so it doesn't get damaged. And if it does get damaged, I've got a freight claim. That's the important part about what I'm doing here. Okay, so now it's down to the next level. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out how long the box actually has to be. And I kind of already know, because I've done like 50 of these before. Okay, so I'm going to cut it down to about here. Okay, so that's going to cut a good, say 5 inches off the length of the box, which is just going to be enough, given the side that I cut down, to minimize the girth size to about 124 to 126 inches, which is under that 130 inch girth that UPS is going to ding me for if I'm over that size limit. And okay, so as I was saying before the interruption, this by constructing the box this way, by narrowing it down like this and cutting it down to here, it's going to put me to less than 130 inches in girth, and it's going to save me about $70 on this shipment alone, and it's going to make it so that the contents of the carton is going to be secure and not moving around. This is metal handle here, so I'm not too worried about the ends getting dinged on this. If anything, if this runs across anything, it's going to damage whatever it comes into contact with. And if it does get damaged, hey, you know what? This is metal. It can be bent back. Okay, so it's not like it's going to be something super fragile. Otherwise, I wouldn't recommend doing it this way. So now, got the box, got it folded. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and figure out how long the box is here. So I'm going to use my straight edge, if I can figure out where that is. Okay, I'm going to use the straight edge, and I'm going to just go ahead and hash out where I've got to cut this box. So it looks like it's going to be, and I try to go along the corrugation. You can kind of see these ribs on the box here from the outside skin. That's the corrugation on the box. So I'm going to just go ahead and cut that dimension out. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to, once I've cut it out, I'm going to telescope this end into the box. So it's going to be kind of ironic, because this is going to be the end that's cut, but it's also going to be the end that has more strength to it, because now we got 4 pieces of corrugation on this end. So that's where I'm going to choose to put the handle of this item here. So now I'm going to just go ahead and do that. Take this out of here. I'm going to put myself a hash mark on the bottom so I can figure out where that's got to be cut. Now, if you'll notice, there is a flap inside of here. So the reason I don't tape this together is because I don't want to cut this flap. I want the flap to be fully intact. I don't want to have another compromised piece of cardboard. So I cut it loose, and I actually cut, I don't cut that flap when I'm doing it. So just go ahead and strike it here. Okay, so we're fairly close. We're a little bit off here. Let me just get this to measure up right here. this line that's wrong actually. So I'm going to go ahead and just try to correct that. Okay. So I'm going to cut along my lines. I'm going to have a flap piece that's going to actually be telescoped into the box. So I'm going to take out my handy dandy little pocket knife. I'm going to start cutting along the lines that I've drawn. So and as I mentioned before, I've got this on another video. If you want to see the other video, I've got a lot of tips and tricks on how to handle heavy-duty shipments, how to consolidate them, how to, a lot of different ways to package something so that it's safe, especially if it's a heavy item or something that's shorter than the box volume. Make sure to view that video. This one here is just going to get into the dynamics of cutting down a box like this for UPS shipment. And if you've got a heavy-duty box, make sure to watch the other video if you don't want to watch the long version of the video to see how to cut down a heavy-duty double-wall box. And let's see if we're still rolling here. Still rolling, okay. So, we'll just go ahead and cut the end here. And finally, the final flap. Okay, so now I've got it cut loose here. There's still a couple pieces sticking. So let me just cut through that. And like I said, it doesn't have to be pretty, it just needs to be functional. Okay, so I've cut the end of the box off now. So what I have is I have a box with an open end, like so, and then I've got another end of a box. So, which resembles a box end. So basically, I'm going to telescope this piece inside of there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up putting one piece inside the box, and I'm going to end up putting the other pieces outside the box. So, to do that, I'm going to actually fold it the opposite way now, because I kind of want it to be the opposite way than the way that is, just so that it is as secure as it can possibly be. So, I folded this end here, and then the flaps are going to end up sticking out on the top and the bottom. And remember, it kind of is the same dimensions that the box formerly was, so you might have to jam it a little bit. You might even have to cut a little bit to get it to jam properly. You don't want to compromise these corners here, okay? I've done this box before, so I know I can get it to jam in there. And there you have it. You have a box that's resized. So it was a 46-inch long box. Now it's been resized to a box that is about 40.5 inches. I always round up to the next inch. If I'm unsure about it, I always go up to the next dimension, just so UPS doesn't audit me during the shipment and then decide, oh gee, it's the wrong size, and then charge me an audit fee to resize my box when I should have already known what size it was. Always round up to the next inch with UPS. And that's basically it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape it. I'm going to tape all the edges here. Okay, everything's going to be nice and tight and secure. I'll show this box once it's done, and that's basically it. Pretty simple stuff. You just have to kind of pay attention to what you're doing and make sure that you get the right flaps over the right flaps, because the reason I put these flaps here is because I have flaps on the inside that are going to protect it on the inside. Shipment's going to be on the inside of the box, and we're good to go. Thanks for watching. Okay, I just wanted to show you from this end how that actually fits in there. So as you can see, it kind of just telescopes into the end of the box here. And I'm also going to just show packing the box. So basically what I've done is I've made a box that I'm going to have to pack in from the end. So I'm going to go ahead and put all this part together here, okay? And just loosely get it generally assembled so that I have a box that I can stuff the contents down into. So instead of packing it in from the top, I'm actually going to pack it in from the end. And as I said, I'm going to use that end to pack my handle into, because that's the part that I would be afraid of, getting damaged the most. And since this is actually the most secure side, it's the side that I'm going to put that handle on. Okay? So now I have a box that has a hole on this end of it now, and I better take the bottom part. Okay, bottom part's taped. I'm just going to run one tape here, the entire seam. Remember, it still has a hole in it, okay? So now, I'm just going to go ahead and stuff the contents inside that box. So let me go ahead and move back here. Contents go down into the box. I've actually got enough room here. About an inch over, I guess, which, I've got a little bit of padding in there, so it's not going to move around. I'm going to put this together like this, stuff it down inside of there. Just like that. Fold the ends over. And then I'm just going to go ahead and tape it shut. So, okay. Go ahead and put it on the table. And I'll finish taping it up. I want to get all the ends nice and neat. So let me just go ahead and gather this before I run the tape lengthwise. So I post the gap up here. I'm going to end up taping every single seam that is exposed on this box. So I'm I'm going to run along here. I'm going to do it underneath. I'm going to run along the back edges over here. Right here. Flip it over, do the same on the other side. I'm going to run a few extra pieces of tape once I'm done here, but you kind of get the idea here. Possibility for any gaps in the box, I take those out. So even if you want to run extra pieces of tape over that, that's great. So basically, now I've got a box. Contents shift from end or side to side. And I'm good to go with this guy. So that's basically how you shorten a box. If you have a long box where you have flaps that are open. As I said, I have other videos showing different techniques for shortening boxes. So make sure to view those if this doesn't apply to you. Thanks for watching.
Yes, I wanted to add one final comment as to why I actually overlap the flaps here and not on the sides. The reason is because if I put everything inside the box, these flaps, the side flaps, and the top flaps in, what's going to happen is it's going to create an area of the box that's going to want, if something, if there was to be a catastrophic event, it's going to push the end into that box. So that's the reason that I alternate with this, with these flaps here on the outside and these flaps on the inside. As you can see, it's that way here as well. Then underneath it, you got the flap there. That makes this end secure, actually more secure than the other end, because that's just a single corrugated box. These boxes are fairly flimsy. They're going to fold at not much contact. There's not really heavy duty stuff in there. This box is only going to weigh 30 pounds when it's done, so I'm not too worried about it. If it was a heavy duty box, I wouldn't be packing it in a single corrugation anyway. I'd be doing it in a double corrugation. But you kind of get the idea as to why it's done that way and why I do it the way I do it and how I can get away with it. And as I said, if it ends up to the point to where it does get damaged, pretty unlikely because it is metal inside that box and it is padded. There's enough padding on the ends. The UPS requires a minimum 3 inches on the end. There's enough padding on the ends to where I'll be able to do a freight claim if I had to. I don't ever have to do freight claims on this part of the sander. I've done one on the other part of the sander, but I've got that packaging down really well and I've got it bulletproof now. So anyway, that's the reason that everything is done that way. And that's the way you telescope a box. So thanks for watching.